Corsairs, led by the treacherous Captain Sahir, have stolen the Black Key recovered in the ruins of Numenor. You must get it back. Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the Line Unbroken, my progression-style playthrough series of the Lord of the Rings living card game. I'm playing the first quest of the Dream Chaser cycle, Flight of the Stormcaller. So, I haven't taken a mulligan on either of these hands. I think neither of them is exactly ideal. It would be nice to start with Steward of Gondor here, but the Palantir is potentially quite significant. Over here, mostly I just want to start with some willpower, like say this West Road Traveller. Test of Will might be nice. Maybe it would be better to start with Nenya, since that's more willpower, but I think we're just going to work with what we have. So, let's see, this rules card explains about the Stormcaller's area, but I think I would rather explain it in my own words. And I will get to that in a minute. So, prepare the Corsair deck. Here we are, the Corsair deck is here. We also have a second quest deck, which is important. And I'm going to need the discard pile for the Corsair deck. Right, players prepare their fleet. So, as usual, I just like to keep the heading separately. We will once again put the Dream Chaser with this deck. Oh, hang on, I should not put this in the victory display because I'm actually using Rossiel and some of the victory display cards. So let's just have this second special to hold all the cards I don't need, such as Silverwing I will not be using, and the Dawn Star I will not be using. This time I will be having Narelenia as my other ship in my fleet. Prepare the Stormcaller's area with a second quest deck consisting of only stages 2C, 3C and 4C, as well as the Stormcaller. So here's the Stormcaller. I'm putting the Stormcaller's area just to the left of the staging area, and we will just keep the quest cards up here. The Stormcaller is the pride of the Corsair fleet, swift as the wind and nigh unsinkable. It won't be an easy quarry to chase. And of course the rest of the Stormcaller's quest cards are here in the second quest deck, whereas mine are in the regular quest deck. Search the encounter deck for one copy of Rolling Seas and add it to the staging area, 2 copies instead if there are 3 or more players in the game. Shuffle the encounter deck. I only have 2 players, so this is fine. And we flip this over. The Stormcaller has a considerable lead on your fleet, but with good fortune and skilled sailing, perhaps you can catch up to it. Sailing. Forced at the end of the quest phase, if you are off course, move 2 progress from Swift Departure to the Stormcaller's quest stage. And on the Stormcaller's quest stage, if the players are off course, the Stormcaller gets +2 threat. No more than 4 damage may be placed on the Stormcaller each round. Forced, at the end of the round, discard the top card of the encounter deck. The Stormcaller places progress on this stage equal to its threat plus the threat of the discarded card. This is the main mechanic of this quest. The Stormcaller is ahead of us. We're trying to catch it up. So the Stormcaller is placing progress on its own series of quest cards, while we do ours. You'll see that I am on stage 1, and the Stormcaller is already on stage 2. So the Stormcaller's area is like a separate staging area. It doesn't have any impact on me so long as I and the Stormcaller are at different numbered stages. But as soon as I reach stage 2, if the Stormcaller is also still at stage 2, then cards in the Stormcaller's area are considered to be in the staging area. They contribute threat, I can travel to locations from the Stormcaller's area, I can engage enemies from the Stormcaller's area. Now, it is important to note that even under these circumstances, it doesn't merge the staging areas. The Stormcaller's area is still a separate area. You just can travel to locations and engage enemies as if they were in the staging area. So if there are additional cards in the Stormcaller's area and you catch up to the Stormcaller's stage, but then the Stormcaller pulls ahead again, then the cards that were in the Stormcaller's area are still in the Stormcaller's area. They didn't get moved into the staging area when you caught up. That's one very easy way to play this quest wrong, if you didn't read the rules properly. So, okay, that's basically it. So let's just begin the game. Control N. Okay, and of course here we draw a second card for Círdan and discard one. Okay. Light of Arnor is pretty useful. Of course it is unique, and I do have 3 copies. I also have this Galadrim Weaver, so I could just shuffle it back into my deck. So yeah, let's hold on to the Envoy, discard Light of Valinor. And oh yes, of course, Denethor. Setup, add 2 resources to Denethor's resource pool. So he started the game already with 2 resources and then generated the additional 1 in the resource phase. Naralenia here. Reduce the cost of the first ally you play each round by 1. So, that may be significant. I am just going to play the Palantir onto Denethor. Just make sure I definitely have the encounter deck shuffled. And I'm going to use the Palantir. So I exhaust Denethor and the Palantir, and I took a bit of a look at the makeup of the encounter deck before doing this, and basically it told me what I would have otherwise guessed. The most common card type in the encounter deck is locations, the least common is enemies because they're all ships, the regular enemies being in the Corsair deck. So I'm going to name location for the Palantir. Okay, 2 locations and 1 enemy. So I raise my threat by 2 and draw 2 cards. Alright. And then let's play this Daron's Runes. Okay, found Steward of Gondor. I'm going to discard Leave No Trace, I think. It would be useful if I could remember how many copies of Leave No Trace I have. I might only have 2 copies. So, in fact, I'm going to discard a Warden of Healing since I have 2 in hand. Alright, so now I'm going to just play Steward of Gondor onto Rossiel. So now, using Naralenia, I reduce the cost of the first ally I play each round by 1, so I'm going to play this Errand Rider for free. Then let's pay 2 for an Envoy of Pelargir, and add the resource to Galadriel. And then let's leave it at that. At least for the moment. So over here, I will use Galadriel, lower the stack's threat by 1, and draw a card. Okay, so it would be good to keep a resource for the Test of Will, but also get more willpower onto the table. Not sure if I can do both. So I will definitely play the Envoy of Pelargir and add the resource back to Galadriel. And then I can play the Westerosi Traveller, and then I either keep the resource for Test of Will or play the Galadrim Weaver. Well, yeah, to be honest, I mean, this Swift Raider is potentially a risk. While it's in the staging area, it gains force after a player commits 4 or more characters to a sailing test or to the quest. Swift Raider engages that player. but I may be able to just get around that. So, yeah, I will play both of these allies. Shuffle Light of Valinor back into my deck for the Galadhrim Weaver. So I have no resource for a Test of Will, but that is fine, because the reason I'm using the Palantir, it's a good card anyway if you build around it, but the particular reason is I wanted to do this at least once for a sailing quest. I, having used the Palantir, know the top 3 cards of the encounter deck, and I can see that this one, Rolling Seas, has the wheel symbol. So I am going to sail with, that was the wrong button, with this Errand Rider. One character, I discard one card, it has a wheel on it, so I have sailed successfully. And I am back on course, and I still know what my staging is. This can be used even more sort of aggressively if you see that you're going to pass the test on the first card, but the second card is a really horrible treachery that you would rather not see revealed. Of course, you could save a Test of Will to cancel that treachery, or you could just commit a second character to the sailing test and discard that card without needing to resolve it. Either way works. So, in this case, I knew that I was going to pass on the first card, so I just did it. And now I know that I am going to have a total of 8 threat in the staging area after staging. I do not want to engage this Swift Raider, I don't think. I mean, well, of course I could defend it, obviously, with Naralenia, but dealing with the Corsairs it would produce could be a problem. But, well, let's see. Yeah, defending the Corsairs actually would be the problem. But I can quest for 2, 4, 5, 8, 13, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22. Sure, let's just quest for 22. This is what's revealed. So I quest for 22 against 8 threat, I make 14 progress. Which means I immediately advance to the next quest stage. As you travel along the western coast of Middle-earth, Corsairs continue to harry your fleet in an attempt to slow your progress. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for 1 copy of Swift Raider and add it to the staging area. Shuffle the encounter deck. Okay. So we're getting another Swift Raider. This is perhaps not ideal, but I can work with it. And of course, of note, although I just left the cards there after I used the Palantir to see them, I did not trigger the Swift Raider's ability by questing with 4 or more characters because it was not actually in the staging area at the time. It was technically still in the encounter deck. I was just too lazy to put it back there. So, no more than 8 progress can be placed here each round. If you are off course, no more than 4 progress can be placed here each round instead. When you defeat this stage, if the Stormcaller is at stage 2, you have caught up to the Stormcaller and win the game, otherwise advance to the next stage. And of course the Stormcaller is now considered to be in the staging area. I could choose to engage it if I wanted to. However, that's not generally a great idea, especially when I sent everyone on the quest in anticipation of having no combat. So, I'm not going to be engaging any enemies. Do I want to travel to the rolling seas or the calm waters? This is an interesting debate, because the rolling seas, the travel cost is to shift your heading off course. Now, Whereas Calm Waters look at 2 additional cards from the top of the encounter deck during each sailing test. Really, it would be useful if I could somehow travel to both of them, because then I would be off course, but I would be looking at more cards for my sailing test, so I'd be more likely to get back on course without committing too many characters and immediately engaging the Swift Raider. Of course, the Rolling Seas has considerably more threat and less quest points. And if I want to use Leave No Trace on something, Rolling Seas would be a decent one to get out of the encounter deck, although it does have a wheel on it, so maybe I want to leave it for that reason. So, you know, cases in both directions. And of course, if I go off course, the Stormcaller increases in threat, so it will make more progress getting away from me. But I think it's probably better to try and clear out more from the staging area, so I'm going to go to the Rolling Seas and hope that this is okay. So I shift my heading off course, and then that's it for the round. Technically I should hit Control R. We're in the refresh phase, and then at the end of the round discard the top card of the encounter deck. Okay, it was a treachery. So no threat, but the Stormcaller is at +2 threat because I'm off course. So the Stormcaller makes 4 progress. And now we're in a new round. Control N. Draw an additional card for Círdan. Okay, the feint could be significant. I think I'm okay for willpower for the moment, so let's not delete my threat. Let's discard the Envoy of Pelargir. And now, let's see. I think location is still going to be the best bet. Although, I might be able to... I would probably like to still have the Test of Will available. So... okay, I was thinking that I could play this Kelduan Traveller to look at the top card of the encounter deck, giving me slight advance information for my use of the Palantir, but it costs 3. I could use an Errand Rider to send a resource over, but then I might want that resource for a Test of Will. So I'm just going to leave it, and I will just use the Palantir immediately, naming location again. Okay, that's really bad luck. And also, none of those cards has a wheel on it. So that's an issue. Okay, so yes, I raise my threat by 6 and do not draw any cards. With that being the case, I'm going to have Galadriel target this deck. Spare copy of Glare-Wine. Okay. Now I may want the tactics resource for a feint. I guess I'm not playing anything with this deck. Over here, let's just pay 1 for Glare-Wine with the discount from Naralenia, of course. And I'm going to have this deck draw another card. King Under the Mountain, okay. In that case, I will move a resource to Denethor and pay 2 for King Under the Mountain. I was kind of hoping for a Gandalf to go with my sneak attack, but this'll do. Okay, non-return. Non-return is good. I'm going to discard the Minstrel. So... Alright, so I have to sail. I go another step off course. Now, the Swift Raider says after a player commits 4 or more characters to a sailing test or to the quest, technically, the Dream Chaser counts as 2 characters, but is only 1 character. So I believe if I commit the Dream Chaser and 2 other characters, that would still only count as me committing 3 characters, and I would not engage the Swift Raider. But I would look at 4 cards. So I may want to do that. On the other hand, of course, I'm already off course, but I mean, it's still better to have better chances. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really want that to happen. Of course, I could cancel it. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm definitely going to send the Weaver and I guess the Envoy. Yeah, so if I do... I mean, I could just go for 3, knowing that I will fail, but that I'm getting rid of these annoying cards. I definitely don't want Sahir's Escort to be revealed, because it is added to the Stormcaller's area, so it will just help Sahir get further ahead of me. I would rather avoid that. But on the other hand, I could possibly just let these be revealed, cancel one of them, and they don't add any threat. There's 7 threat currently in the staging area. So I mean, then I could just quest exactly for 7, 10, 14. If I could just quest for 14, then I would make the maximum progress I could possibly make while being off course. And then I travel to the calm waters and have a better chance of getting back on course next round. How much can I quest for? 4, 5, 7, 9, 10. Yeah, I could manage 14 one way or another. Pretty sure. And maybe I just take the Raging Squall and hope to get back on course, or I don't want to go another step off course. So okay, I mean, this is a tricky decision, but I think I'm going to go for this. So I send the Weaver on the sailing test. I discard Sahir's Escort, and then this is going to be my staging. It will add no threat to the staging area, so there will just be the 7, so I need to quest for 14. So if I go 4, 6, 8, 13, See, I might be able to, if I were to go like this, then that would be 14. And I could get away with not cancelling Sudden Storms, because I could just take the damage. Not exactly the best setup for combat. Oh, actually it would kill the Weaver in any case. So instead we'll do it like this. Yeah, but still only 3 characters on the quest and 2 characters on the quest. So I quest for 14. I reveal Sudden Storms. I play a test of will to cancel it. I reveal Raging Squall, doomed 2, and it attaches to the current quest as a condition. But I then make 7 progress. Do I want to add this to the victory display? I mean, it is a wheel, but it's only 1, so I think I will do this. Add it to the victory display. And now I have 2 cards worth no victory points in the victory display, so Keena's Lances currently costs 3. Making progress. Travel to Calm Waters. And now I may want to try and engage one of these Swift Raiders. I'm not sure how good an idea it is. Of course, I can't know what enemies I'll actually be up against. And actually, I may have difficulty killing anything at present with just Legolas and an Envoy of Pelagia, so yeah, maybe I shouldn't. Because I do need to deal with these, because they're causing problems with my sailing and potentially also my questing. But it's boarding 2, so I can defend the Swift Raider with Naralenia. But 2 borders, I have 1 feint, and then I have 4 attack. So I guess so at the end of the round we discard for the Stormcaller. Okay, 6 threat vast coastland on top of the +2 threat for me being off course. So that's 10 progress. I'm just going to put this here so it's clear. As your voyage continues, the skies... No, wait, that's my quest stage. I don't know if there's a shortcut for second quest deck. Aided by other Corsair ships, the Stormcaller slips out of sight, heading into the dark clouds on the southern horizon. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for 1 copy of Sahir's Escort and add it to the Stormcaller's area. Shuffle the encounter deck. Another reason that I definitely didn't want that Sahir's Escort to be revealed, because I knew it was going to get another one. Okay, and shuffle the encounter deck. If the players are off course, the Stormcaller gets +2 threat. No more than 8 damage may be placed on the Stormcaller each round. Forced at the end of the round, discard the top card of the encounter deck, and so on. So, Sahir's Escort. While Sahir's Escort is in the Stormcaller's area, it contributes its threat to the amount of progress the Stormcaller places on the quest stage each round. I didn't actually read the Stormcaller, of course. When it advances to the next quest stage, return it to the Stormcaller's area. If the Stormcaller leaves play, the players win the game. So this is why there's the restriction on how much damage can be done to the Stormcaller. Because of course, if I am at the same numbered stage, so while I was at stage 2 and the Stormcaller was still at stage 2, I could have engaged the Stormcaller and attacked it, but I was capped on how much damage I could do each round, so I couldn't just one-shot it immediately. And that's still a thing on stage 3. But in theory, if I could just defeat the Stormcaller that would win me the game. Okay, extra draw for Círdan. Okay, I will discard the... Well, the Traveller is more willpower, but the Weaver just gets me the Traveller back into my deck, so actually maybe I just take the Traveller. Now here we use King Under the Mountain, Hennemarth. No, I'm gonna go with the Minstrel. And Steward, and location is still definitely the most likely. So, 3 treacheries. Wow. Okay, but 1 wheel. I need more wheels. And I'm now past the engagement cost of the Swift Raiders, so that's a problem. Let's draw another card here. And take Galadriel. Okay. This is a very unfortunate shuffle of the deck. I pay 1 for a Minstrel and search the top 5 cards of my deck for an event. Daeron's Runes. Shuffle my deck. Play Daeron's Runes. Draw 2. There's my Gandalf. That means I can drop my threat, so I don't have to engage the Swift Raiders immediately. That's good. Okay. Yeah, at some point I apparently changed the zoom without noticing. Okay, what else can I play? I could play an Athelian Lookout. I could play Keena's Lances. There may be something to be said for just using Keena's Lances to draw more cards. So, okay. Gonna pay 3 for Keena's Lances. And draw 3 cards. Okay, Gildor's Council. Daeron's Runes. Draw 2, discard. Palantir, and there is my second sneak attack. So... move... well, actually, I don't have to remove the resource to Denethor yet. I can consider this. Okay, so leave that for the moment. Now, here I should definitely play a Dagger of Westerness onto Legolas. And play Galadrim Weaver, shuffle Westward Traveller back into my deck. So I still have resource for a feint. Okay, so, sailing. I get to look at 2 additional cards. I might want this Errand Rider to get me a second sneak attack. But I could send the Minstrel and the Dream Chaser for 3, and then 2 additional cards. Yeah. It's probably... I want to do... I don't know, maybe... Hang on. So there's... So I'm probably going to also play Gildor's Council. In which case there is currently 6 threat in the staging area. Plus just 1 additional card. I would like, if possible, to make 12 progress, but it's not essential. Rossiel is at +2 willpower right now because all of the locations have the ocean trait, and I added 1 to the victory display. So I could be questing for 4, 6, 10... 12, 13... No, I'm not going to be able to get through this quest stage. The Swift Raiders are crippling my questing ability with this deck, just as much as they're crippling my sailing. So, okay, so technically I've shifted off course again as the start of the sailing test. Let's send Biffa as well. Okay, so that gets me 4 and then 2 additional from the Calm Waters. Wow, okay, 2 wheels. So I'm still not back on course. I now play Gildor's Council and sneak attack Gandalf and drop my threat by 5. So, okay, I still have this Raging Squall, and I'm not back on course, so any allies I commit to the quest will take 1 damage, because I am off course. So I guess I'm questing for 4, 8, 12, and that's it. And I reveal Waterspout. 2 threat, I make 4 progress, which explores the calm waters and nothing else. Well, I really need to keep the staging area clear, so travel to Waterspout, deal 4 damage to each ship objective. Gandalf is back in my hand. Okay, I really need to see if I can do something about at least one of these Swift Raiders. So let's engage one. Boarding 2. So Control Shift E. Now let's see. When it engages you, discard an attachment you control and place resources equal to that attachment's printed cost. And this one is discard a random card from your hand. So, random discard. Okay. Warden of Healing, that's unfortunate. And an attachment. I've already discarded some spare attachments. Yeah, I already discarded a spare Palantir and a spare Steward of Gondor. I mean, I'm a decent way through my deck already, so I guess I'll ditch King Under the Mountain. But, okay, so I am going to use Biffa's ability, give him a resource. And then transfer that resource to Denethor with the Errand Rider. I'm also going to remember to deal shadow cards. And I'm going to play a feint on one of these enemies. Let's see. When it attacks, you distribute damage among characters you control equal to the number of resources on it, or +1 attack and defense for each resource. So this guy is 4 attack, this guy's 3 attack, and distributes 2 damage. I mean, I probably can take that damage. So I should probably just, yeah, deal with the higher attack guy. Come to think of it, how am I even defending this Vicious Marauder? Oh, I guess I might be... Oh man. I did not think this through. Okay, no, it's okay. So actually, I will feint the Vicious Marauder. Envoy of Pelagia, defense against the Cunning Pirate. And Narlenia defends against the Swift Raider. Okay, and now, of course, I sneak attack Gandalf again. Oh, you know what? I could have saved my Envoy if I had just... used to sneak attack Gandalf to kill the Corsair that I wasn't feinting. It's potential consideration. Oh yeah, 5 on 5, that was fine, yes. I was considering using Gandalf for damage anyway. On the other hand, I could just drop my threat, given the whole Palantir situation, but I do want to kill enemies. Gandalf... Of course, Gandalf is 4 attack. Plus Legolas is 3, 4... 5 against either of these. I could add in the Envoy if she was still alive. Still not enough to kill the Swift Raider. But... okay, yeah, no, hang on. So, where's that Envoy? Envoy here. So in fact... yeah, in fact what I should have done is sneak attack Gandalf and drop my threat. And then Gandalf defends instead of the Envoy. Then the Envoy attacks for 1, Legolas attacks for 5, and we kill the Cunning Pirate. Unfortunately, I don't have a resource for non-return, which would be really useful, because all the enemies have the Corsair trait. Oh no, wait, that guy has +2 defense, so I kill this one instead. Make 2 progress with Legolas. And Gandalf comes back to my hand. At the end of the round, we discard for Stormcaller, 2 threat, so 2, 4, 8. Because I'm off course. Okay. This certainly could be going better. Okay, extra draw for Círdan. I definitely want to keep the Test of Will. And now, okay. Palantir. It's got to be... Locations have got to be still the most likely, right? 4. I've seen 6 locations and 8 treacheries. Yeah. Location. I'm getting terrible luck with this. But okay, so I'm already slightly off course, but if I sail for 3, then I will be back on course again. So now I raise my threat by 4 and draw 1 card. Now, okay, so actually I could play this Keldwin Traveller for 3, and then just discard this Jagged Reef, and then I would only have to sail for 2, and I'd still get back on course. I'm not sure how much difference that really makes under the circumstances, though. Man, I could do with drawing more for this deck. I could do with dropping the threat of this deck. Of course, I can just swap with Glare-Wine and Galadriel. Let's Glare-Wine this deck. Feint is good. And I will Galadriel this deck. Sneak attack! That's great! Okay. So I think I'm not playing anything here. I can use an Errand Rider to send a resource to Legolas so that he can play the second Dagger of Westerness and still have a resource for a feint. Over here, let's see, it would be good to hold on to a resource for non-return this time. But that is only 1 resource needed. On the other hand, I could possibly Leave No Trace the Water Spout as well. So let's just pay 1 with Naralenia for the Athelian Tracker. And leave it at that. Okay, so sailing. I need to sail for 3. That's fine. 1, 2, 3. These are discarded. And I'm back on course. Which means I can quest with my allies again, despite the Raging Squall. And it means I can potentially make enough progress to advance the quest. There is 3 threat in the staging area. I will be revealing 2 additional cards, of course. I want, ideally, 10 progress. So let's see. I can quest for 5, 9, 11. Cancel the threat of the first enemy. 15. 17. 18. So that's 15. I wanted, what was it? 10 progress. Not sure I like these odds. I could definitely get more than 5 threat out of 2 cards. I could sneak attack Gandalf at this point. It's a definite option. So I'm currently questing with 3 characters. So if I do sneak attack Gandalf, I want to hold back the Minstrel so I don't have to immediately engage the other Swift Raider. But that could be a reasonable idea. So let's go with that, I think. So sneak attack Gandalf, last sneak attack. This time I am going to deal damage to the Cunning Pirate, and I will pay 1 for non-return to add him to the victory display. So -1 plus 4, I'm questing for 21, and I reveal. Hidden Cove. Travel, move to progress from the main quest to the Stormcaller's quest stage. Response after it becomes the active location. Heal 4 damage from each ship objective. And Corsair Skiff, which does not count as threat, but surges. Vast Coastland, add it to the Stormcaller's area. So that doesn't add any threat against my questing. So this does not count as threat. I would actually have been fine with the Minstrel and not Gandalf. Could have saved Gandalf for combat. But never mind. Okay, I added 3 threat. I make 15 progress. Well, I can only make 8 on the quest, and this is explored, and I will use Leave No Trace to add it to the victory display. So I advance the quest, which means this condition goes away. As your voyage continues, the skies darken and the rain becomes relentless. Storm clouds on the horizon flash with lightning, and unpredictable wind makes setting a course difficult. At the end of the staging step, if you are off course, reveal an additional encounter card from the top of the encounter deck. When you've hit the stage, if the Stormcaller is at stage 3, you've caught up to the Stormcaller and win the game, otherwise advance to the next stage. So, we are currently on the same stage as the Stormcaller. I think I should travel to the Vast Coastland. Gandalf is back in my hand, of course. I now have a total of 7 cards worth no victory points in the victory display. So Keena's Lances is free. So let's use Keena's Lances here just to draw more cards. Light of Valinor is very welcome, so is the Handmaiden. Over here. Okay, so I have to do something about this Corsair Skiff. But I can continue ignoring the Swift Raider. It would be nice if I could get rid of Sahir's escort, but it would also be quite difficult to get rid of Sahir's escort. Given that I'm already dealing with 2 ships. Okay, let's think about this. No, I don't think I'm set for enemies other than the ships right now, so I'm just right now going to use Keena's Lances to reduce my threat by 4. And then I'm going to engage the Corsair Skiff. When the Corsair Skiff engages you from the staging area, either raise your threat by 3 or it gains boarding 1. So I raise my threat by 3. Now, I do have this feint, which I will use on the Swift Raider. And I will take the Corsair Skiff undefended. Okay, no shadow effect. Now, of course, because the Corsair Skiff is a ship, the undefended damage is not dealt to a hero, it is dealt to a ship. Now, because Naralenia is a ship, it can only attack ship enemies, but that's all I'm engaged with. So I attack for 3... Okay, hang on. Legolas against the Swift Raider is 7 attack, which means that would still be not enough to kill it. However, against the Corsair Skiff, he's 5, and a total of 8 does kill the Corsair Skiff. And I place 2 progress. So, okay. At the end of the round, of course. Ooh, almost running out the encounter deck at this point. Discard Rolling Seas. I'm not off course anymore, but that's still a total of 8. So the Stormcaller has 16 progress on stage 3. Control N. Extra draw here for Círdan. Dagger of Westerness. Don't need it. Arwen is very welcome though. Steward. And okay, since there are only 2 cards left in the encounter deck, should I use the Plantier at this point? I suppose that means there's less potential threat raise, even if I'm wrong. I mean, in theory, if I wanted to look up the exact composition of the encounter deck, I could figure out exactly which 2 cards are left. That would be a lot of effort. But let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 locations in the discard pile. 1, 2, 5, 6. Yeah, 9 locations in the discard pile, 2 in play, and 2 in the victory display. It's a total of 13. I believe there are 15 locations in the encounter deck, so I'm going to do this location and look at these 2 cards. They are indeed 2 locations, and wheels. So I only need to sail for 1. Calm Waters will be the first card of my staging. And also right now I do not raise my threat and I draw 2 cards for the Palantir. Okay, I could do with getting some more attack onto the table at this point. I could potentially just play Gandalf, actually. I could just hardcast Gandalf. A definite option. I have 5 resources. It would cost 4, thanks to Naralenia. Or, thinking more long-term, I could, of course, play one of these Ithilien Lookouts. Now, let's see, the Ithilien Lookout would be 2 attack. Legolas against the Swift Raider is 7. So that's a total of 9. I probably do want to defend it this time. Nine, 10, possibly 11. I could hold this guy back. That's an option. So, of course, I've got this last Keena's Lances as well. I could theoretically do both. Or maybe I want to just keep the... not be so bothered about the Swift Raiders, but try and get rid of Sahir's escort that bit quicker. Okay, so let's use Glare Wine on this deck. And go with Pelagia. And let's also use... no, let's use Galadriel on this deck. King Under the Mountain. Not so useful at this point. I have the cards I want in my hand. I just need to actually play them. How much does it take to kill Sahir's Escort? 9. So, I mean, that's pretty doable. But, let's... Yeah, I think maybe that is going to be the best option. So, the best option may be to just use Keena's Lances to gain 2 resources, and then play Gandalf and the Athelian Lookout. So, let's do that. 2 more resources. So now 2 for an Athelian Lookout, and 5 for Gandalf. Now, do I want to deal damage with Gandalf? Or just stick with the threat drops? I do feel like just getting things under control is more significant than my threat right now. So, where is the damage going to be best placed? I could put it on Sahir's Escort, I could put it on the Swift Raider. So... Legolas and the Athelian Lookout can kill Sahir's Escort by themselves, but that assumes that Sahir's Escort engages this deck. I might want it to engage this deck, because I will be taking it undefended, and the Dream Chaser has more hit points left. Well, I suppose I don't have to take it undefended. Yeah, complicated calculations. I will decide in a minute where I put the damage from Gandalf, once I've just sorted out some other bits. Light of Valinor, of course, goes on Rossiel. And... yeah, let's just play the Envoy then. I can get the Handmaiden next round. So, okay, so I'm going to be sailing for 1 with the Errand Rider, and I will be on course. I will have a total of 1, 4, 7 threat in the staging area, plus 1 additional card. I mean, actually, at this point, I can start wondering, can I just quest to victory? Of course, if I quest with too many characters, the Swift Raider will engage me from the staging area, but that just means less threat in the staging area if I think I'm going to just win. So, let's just consider this. I would need to make 20 progress. If I go for this, then there will actually be only 4 threat in the staging area, because I will have engaged the Swift Raider. Oh, no, sorry. These are also in the staging area, or considered to be in the staging area. So 8, I would need to quest for more than 28. So like 4, 7, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 21, 25, 27, 28, 29, 31, 33. I think I can do this. So, okay, this could all go horribly wrong, but let's just go for it. 4, 7, 11, 13, 14, 15, 15, 20, 24, 27 targeting Rossiel, 29, 31, 33. This engages. And okay, I was afraid of this. So while he's engaged with me, each ship enemy engaged with me contributes its threat to the threat in the staging area. So actually, I've just increased the threat in the staging area. Technically that happens after this deck commits. Before this deck does, but I don't think it really makes a difference to me. I still haven't dealt Gandalf's damage. I guess I'll just put it there. Oh no, no. Put it there. Or going back and forth on this, but sure. So no, wait. Did I just calculate this completely wrong? Hang on. If I would have been. No, that would have been okay, but now it's not because of this. Because of this guy. So, well, okay, we'll play this out. Surge doesn't count as threat. So, I've added 2 threat. I make 17 progress. Yeah. That's very annoying, not even in Legolas range. Because that was sort of my backup plan. I could have just killed this guy with Legolas, and that would have won me the quest. However, it is not to be. Maybe I should have just played this Handmaiden. That would have made the difference. Rather than saving for a test of will. Okay. So, under the circumstances, let's not travel. Now, I do need to do something about this Corsair skiff. So I guess I'll engage it here. And raise my threat by 3. So, oh, that was the wrong order. Yeah, obviously, I kind of planned to win the quest. The thing is, I didn't need to do this. I could have just taken this normally and not been totally screwed now. There's probably an important lesson here about hubris. Also, actually, if I'd sent the Athelian Lookout on the quest, I would have made 1 more progress and could have won using Legolas. Okay. Well, this is undefended. I'm not off course, but that's 5 to... Oh, right. Right, so I'm going to lose because I have to take both of these attacks undefended, which will destroy... Well, I suppose technically that's not me losing. It just eliminates this deck, and then this deck will lose next round. Yep, I should not have gone for that all-in play. Should have just accepted that I was going to go to stage 4 and been sensible about it. Quested normally, killed off some enemies. Okay, well, this was interesting, and I can just try it again. Hopefully, maybe I'll get a bit luckier and actually see locations with the Palantir ever. So let's just reset here. Alright, so attempt number 2. Let's just begin here. Feint is... Ooh, but Keena's Lances. Keena's Lances is very good. I'm going to discard the Feint. Hope for the long-term benefits of Keena's Lances. Okay, so here I don't have much to spend the lore resources on. Maybe I play the Palantir with a lore resource. Yeah, let's play the Palantir with a lore resource. And I did shuffle the encounter deck, right? Shuffle the encounter deck. Location. Okay, 2 locations, 1 treachery. No wheels. So, alright. Then let's play Daron's Runes and discard Athelian Tracker, maybe? Let's discard the Athelian Tracker. I can't afford Gildor's Council, so just go. That was sort of irrelevant. I can't afford Gildor's Council because I don't have Steward of Gondor yet. Because I don't have Steward of Gondor yet, I just play King Under the Mountain. Obviously, of those, I will discard the spare King Under the Mountain. And in case I draw Steward, I will pay for the envoy with a lore resource, and I'll add the resource to Galadriel, I think. And over here, I don't have a test of will, so okay, let's Galadriel. Okay, so obviously I should play Arwen right away. I do have a few tactics cards here, which would be useful. Let's shuffle this Feint back into my deck. Actually, in retrospect, if I was going to do that, I should have kept the Feint in my hand and shuffled Keena's Lances back into my deck, because it's something that will be more useful later in the game. Let's just play Dagger of Westerness. Let's see. Last time round, I was completely forgetting that Galadriel makes allies quest without exhausting. I'm not sure if it would have made a difference. So, okay, this is an interesting situation. Because I probably want to try and send 4 characters on the sailing test under the circumstances. Because, I mean, I could just accept that I'm going off course, but I mean, regardless, I would like to get rid of this, just because it surges anyway. So... Dream Chaser is 2. So 4 characters. I'm still off course. Okay. So, well, there is 4 threat in the staging area. Requesting for 4, 5, 7, 9. 12. And we reveal sudden storms either shift your heading off course or deal 1 damage to each exhausted character. I would kill my envoy, but otherwise I guess I could take it. And either remove all progress from the current quest and raise each player's threat by 4, or shift your heading off course. Well, there is no progress on the current stage, but I think all can be 0 in this instance. The threat raise of 4 is annoying, but I would rather not go further off course. Okay, so I quested for 12. There is 4 threat in the staging area still, so I make 8 progress and immediately advance to stage 2. Which gets me a Swift Raider. Won't this be fun? Okay. Swift Raider. Now, okay. I am, of course, not really set to deal with Swift Raider. I don't have to trigger this forced effect at the end of the quest phase because I advanced to stage 2. So, yeah, the question here is, of course, do I travel here, shifting my heading off course? I think given that I'm already off course, I don't want to go further off course. I'd rather just have more threat in the staging area. So, that's it. Stormcaller is +2 threat because I'm off course. Discard. Okay, so that's 1, 5. 5 progress on stage 2 for the Stormcaller. Control N. Extra draw for Kirdan. Okay, I'm going to discard the Feint, keep the Willpower. Over here we have King Under the Mountain. Ooh, no, I will discard the Minstrel. And Daron's Runes. Oh, okay, I already have non-return in my hand, so keep the sneak attack. And now we want to Palantir. I'm pretty sure location is still going to be the best. I've seen more, well, I suppose including this Rolling Seas, I've seen equal numbers of treacheries and locations. There are more locations. So, location. Okay, 1 of each. So I raise my threat by 4 and draw 1 card. And now over here. Okay, let's see. Really wish I had Light of Valinor. But okay, so this is good for sailing. I know I can just send 2 characters and I will be back on course. And then I'll deal with the water spout. There will be 9 threat plus 1 more card. Gildor's Council is a theoretical possibility if I give a resource to Biffa. Also, let's have this deck benefit from Galadriel. Palantir is not Steward of Gondor. So in fact, actually, okay. Let's think about this. Oh, of course there will actually be 11 threat in the staging area because of the Stormcaller. Of course there is a cap on how much progress I can make, so I can't just blitz this stage and win instantly. So I should not even be thinking about that. However, if I were to play Gildor's Council, then I know exactly what my staging is. And that is potentially useful. I would know exactly how much threat I would have in the staging area. I could quest precisely. I think that's a good idea. Which means I need to spare a resource. Let's also have some thought about how much willpower I have. So, 2, 3, 7, 9, 11... and potentially the ships. I also need to sail for 2. I think I want to save the West Road Traveller. Which basically leaves me with... I want to send... yeah, okay, so I send a resource to Biffa. And I pay 2... the envoy of Pelagia, adding the resource back to Legolas. And then I will play second Dagger of Westerness. Over here, I'm saving my law resources for Gildor's Council, which, I mean, this does mean I'm wasting my Naralenia discount, but I think in the long run this is still a good idea. So, okay, I sail for 2. And I go off course by 1, I see 2 wheels, and now I'm back on course. I play Gildor's Council. So, hang on. Yes, there's 11 threat going to be in the staging area. I'm not going to be engaging this Swift Raider, so I can just quest for everything. 3, 5, 7, 12. 14, 16. Okay, I guess that's all I can do. Would it be better to hold something back? But the thing is, I don't have... I mean, I can defend the ship. I could hold back Naralenia to defend the Swift Raider, but boarding 2, I can't defend the borders. And also I can't send Legolas on the quest, because then I would have to engage the Swift Raider through the forced effect. So, okay, I make 5 progress. That's it. I'm going to travel to the water spout. Staying on course. So at the end of the round, I discard Calm Waters. So the Stormcaller makes 3 progress. But still here. Okay, Control N. Círdan. Okay, in this case I'm definitely going to keep the Feint. And now let's... It's still going to be location for the Palantir, right? Yeah. So, I think, hang on, let me count these again. I was forgetting about the ones that are in play. 2, 4, 6 locations I've seen. 5 treacheries. Yeah. Location. Okay, 2 locations, 1 enemy. Immediately getting a wheel. So I raise my threat by 2. And draw 2 cards. And I can use King of the Mountain. 2 more cards. And I will, of course, discard Hennemuth and keep Gandalf for sneak attacking. I could probably do with lowering my threat at this point. So this deck has plenty of cards. So Galadriel goes here. Envoy of Pelagia. Alright. So I only need to sail for 1. I could sail for an additional 1 just to discard the vast coastland because it's 6 threat. See, now I am potentially again in a situation where I could just possibly quest to victory. I mean, okay, hang on, let me just take a look at this. So 3, 9, 12. I can Westroad Traveller. So I would need to make 10 progress. Against 2, 5, 7, 13, 16. So I would need to quest for 26. How feasible is that? I could Gildor's Council again, actually. In which case, I could sail the extra 1 to discard the vast coast. So both vast coastlands would be gone. And then I would only need to quest for 20. So that is pretty doable, I think. Like 5, 9, 11, 15, 18, 20. Well, perhaps somewhat anticlimactic, but I think I just won the game. So long as I can sail for 2 without using the Dream Chaser. And while still having resources for everything else. So, well, with the discount from Naralenia, I play an Envoy. Add the resource back to Denethor. And then I play another Envoy and add the resource back to Denethor. And then let's transfer a resource to Biffa. And over here we play Westroad Traveller. Switching these 2 locations. I did not travel, so I don't shift my heading off course. And now I sail for 2. So I go off course. I sail for 2. I see more than 1 wheel, so I'm back on course again. There is technically, this has not been revealed yet. There is 7 threat in the staging area. There is going to be 10 threat in the staging area. I quest for... Sorry, I sneak attack Gandalf. Reducing my threat by 5. And I quest for 4, 7, 9, 14, 18, 20. Actually, let's reverse those, and what the hell, I'll put this Gondorian shield onto Rossiel, which was of course the plan, but it happens, it doesn't matter. I am questing for 20. I reveal the Swift Raider, which brings the threat up to 10, as mentioned. When you defeat this stage, if the Stormcaller is at stage 2, which it is, you have caught up to the Stormcaller and win the game. I've never actually done this before. I'm not entirely sure if I've ever caught the Stormcaller earlier than stage 4. I've certainly never caught it on stage 2 before. Of course, some of it comes down to luck, because this effect, you could discard a Treachery, which is 0 threat, or you could discard the Vast Coastland, which is 6, added on to the Stormcaller's own threat. And if you're off course, then that's more. Of course, the Rolling Seas, actually, that starts in the staging area, plays a significant part, because it's high threat, so you don't want to just leave it there. But it makes you shift your heading off course, which means the Stormcaller makes more progress, which means it's then more likely that the Stormcaller gets through stage 2 quickly. Because other times I've played this, I haven't necessarily blitzed stage 1 in this way either. Of course, this was kind of... Hang on, I forgot to actually play Gildor's Council, but that obviously was the point. Otherwise, I would have revealed another card and not won the game. Yeah. Well, obviously, a lot of this comes down to the power of the Palantir, which, as noted, it's amazing for sailing quests, just in general, because, I mean, sometimes you end up in those difficult situations where you can see that there are no wheels in any of the top 3 cards, and so you have to start thinking about sending even more characters, or just giving up and staying off course. But there's a strategy to that. Sometimes it may be better to just accept that it's not practical to get on course this round, but you can save more bodies for questing or combat. And then the next round, maybe you see 2 wheels in the top 3 cards, so you can do it easily. You can nicely govern your sailing. In this instance, of course, the combination of the Palantir and Gildor's Council meant I could just plan out questing precisely. And, well, of course, in the first game, the first attempt, it would have worked had it not been for that one Corsair enemy that makes your engaged ships contribute their threat to the staging area. Without that, I would have quested to victory. Yeah, so it's a sort of achievement unlocked moment for me. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Next up, obviously, is Thing in the Depths. Took me a moment to remember what the next quest was. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.